Welcome to the launch of The Elephant's View, a production of the Marshfield Republican Town Committee. I'm Janine, and this is Mary Beth. We are your hosts, the Marshfield Republican Town Committee members. Dave Kolar is our producer, assisted by Renee Kolar, and would also like to thank the staff of the Marshfield Community Media for their help. Our topic is Today's Republican, a promise of America. If you're an American, vote like one. To discuss this with us today is our guest panelist, Janet Fogarty. Janet is the Republican National Committeewoman and is also the Massachusetts GOP State Committeewoman. Few people are as qualified to speak about today's Republican as Janet is. Welcome, Janet, and thank you for being here with us today. So let's get started. Mary Beth?
Thank you, Janine. Many people have long-standing misconceptions about Republicans and what Republicans actually represent. Some people even perceive Republicans as cruel, unkind people and attribute features to them which are not true. And some Republicans are afraid to admit they are registered Republicans for fear of backlash by people who don't understand or don't agree with their values. And some voters refuse to ever vote for a Republican, even if the Republican candidate would be the best choice due to antiquated thinking and ingrained notions. This is a problem, not only for Republicans, but also for people who would like to be better informed about a major political party in our state and our country. Today, the Marshfield Republican Town Committee has invited Janet Fogarty, Republican State and National Committeewoman, to speak to any misconceptions and to clarify who the Republicans of today truly are. I'm not sure how we got here, but we welcome Janet's willingness to share her knowledge and insight to help change it. And we want to see more people voting like Americans, no matter their party affiliation. And we believe Janet's information will help them to do just that. Citizens should not be afraid to register as Republicans. Republicans are the promise of America today. And if you are an American, vote like one. I know you agree with that, Janine.
We've invited Janet, who is involved with both the National and State Committee and travels far and wide to meeting and talking with people and Republicans throughout our state, and to speak to the misconceptions and to clarify who the Republicans of today truly are.
So for starters, Janet, how long have you been involved with the Republican Party as a Republican, your role, and what does your role entail?
Thank you, Mary Beth and Janine, for having me here today. I'm so excited to be here for your first show. It's an honor. Thank you. I'm a lifelong Republican, have always voted Republican my entire life. I've been involved with the Republican Party here in Massachusetts for like the past 30 years or so, not to date myself, but it's been around that amount of time. But as I've been a chair for some town committees at Cohasset and Scituate. I'm currently a member of the Weymouth Republican Town Committee, but my role on the state committee, I was elected 15 years ago to the state committee for the Plymouth Norfolk Senate District, and I share that district, or this district, with Senator Pat O'Connor. And on the national level, I was elected by the 80-member state committee body to the national committee to represent Massachusetts. And that I'm serving in my second term. It's a 4-year term, and there's one man, one woman elected from each state and the 6 territories, and I'm honored to have been elected by my peers on the state committee. And so that's how long I've been at it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, you're definitely the perfect person to talk with today about today's Republican and who today's Republican really is. So, based on your knowledge and your experience, what does it mean to be a Republican today? What defines today's Republican?
Well, It's a broad question. It's, I guess, the basic principles of the Republican Party would define today's Republican, but even beyond that, we are a party that is open to all individuals, no matter what, color, race, or creed. But we stand for individual liberty, freedom, faith, family, and we believe in less government, lower taxes, free enterprise. So we believe that those components help Americans prosper. And, it's all about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that's what we as Republicans stand for.
Janet, what would you say is the number one role of the Republican National Committee?
Well, there's several roles, but the number one most important function of the RNC is to elect a Republican president to the United States. That is our number one job. Second to that would be to provide resources and support to all the state parties.
Thank you. What would you say is the political platform of the Republican Party?
Well, partly what I just said.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we believe in less government, not bigger government. We believe in free enterprise, capitalism, and, the freedom of individuals, freedom to pursue what they want in life. We are a nation of laws. We believe in the Constitution and believe that our laws should be followed. And that's basically what the party platform stands for.
So it really hasn't changed that much. I mean, my whole voting life has also been a Republican, and the fiscal responsibility, the law and order, the Constitution, and freedom and the individual they've always been there.
Yes.
So the principles of the party really haven't changed. So do you think that the fundamentals of the party, the values the Republicans have in general, have been distorted by the emphasis on social justice issues today, in the media, for like abortion, men competing in women's sports, identity politics, DEI, things like that, get so much attention from media? Do you think they've distorted the image and the values of Republicans?
Yes, I do. I think that today's media is very slanted to the Democrat side, and I think that a lot of what we stand for as a party, our principles, the policies of our administration, it does get distorted in the mainstream media, absolutely. And it's difficult for Republicans. We keep our head down, we work hard, we're not out there marketing ourselves in a very good way, I guess. I'd say that's one of our downfalls, is that we aren't as great marketers, self-advertisers, as the Democrats are. And the Democrats do have the help of the media that support them and their causes. So, that's something we do need to improve on as a party, to be able to get our messaging out. But we generally just, keep our heads down and get the work done, that we need to do. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done in our country today.
Yeah,
I agree.
I agree too. It reminds me of a phrase I heard recently: principled leadership and quiet service. It's more indicative of who Republicans are. But like you said, that's not exactly the people who get the attention in the media.
Right.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what would you say are the most important issues facing Massachusetts today?
Well, Massachusetts, it's interesting. I guess it's similar to everyone else in the country, but for us in the Northeast, one of the major issues that we have is energy and the cost of energy. So people are seeing that their energy bills, their electric utilities, gas, have skyrocketed. And so affordability of housing, that's a nationwide problem, but it's especially a problem here in Massachusetts. And the cost of food and everything, really. It's going to take a while for things to come back down. The president has made, and the administration has made, great strides in reducing, like you might have noticed, that the gas prices have gone down at the pump. Some of the groceries have gone down as well. But it takes time. There's a lot to reverse based on the previous administration's policies, and the cost of energy that no one was expecting would be so high. That's a real problem because of a lot of the policies with the Green New Deal and how much that has really cost us. You know, with wind energy and solar energy, and now we're realizing that it doesn't really work as well as it should. so it's going to be a while before that stuff, I think, gets.
And it's tough to ask people to be patient.
Right.
You just can't ask people to be patient.
Right.
It's not going to be solved in the 6 months that Trump has been in office.
Right. It does take time.
Takes a while.
Absolutely.
Right.
But we definitely see prices coming down, which is very helpful.
Absolutely, and interest rates are starting to come down, so
Right.
that'll help hopefully with getting the housing market, getting a boost in that regard. But there definitely needs to be more supply of housing.
Okay. So I would say continuing to vote for the conservative, the principles are the ones that will be most likely to get us to the goals that we want.
Yes.
Because the other way certainly has got us into a position where, everyday life, it
That's
becomes a
right.
little more difficult.
Absolutely. Yes.
Janet, how do you feel about our candidates that we have this year running for governor and Senate?
Well, we have a great field of candidates. It's amazing. We have 3 gubernatorial candidates who are all incredibly qualified. They're all business people. They've owned their own businesses. A couple of them have worked in the Charlie Baker's administration in cabinet level positions. And they all have great platforms they're running on and great ideas to help bring Massachusetts into a better place than it is right now.
Wow, that's
I'm
great.
excited about them.
And I'd like to ask you a question about your role as state committeewoman and national committeewoman. Can you let us know what that entails?
Sure, absolutely. So at the national level, I work, I'm actually on the executive committee for the National Party, and we provide all of the resources to the state parties around the country. So we work on election integrity issues. We have an amazing legal team that does file lawsuits, in other states where there are issues with voter registration or election, anything election related. And we provide, training and data, voter data to the state parties. So the state parties all benefit from the RNC, and the state parties provide the resources to the town committees, like the Marshfield Town Committee as well, Republican Town Committee. So we help, recruit new members to the party. We identify candidates to run for local or statewide office and federal office as well, and we help them get their training and make sure that they are doing what they need to do and reaching the voter base that they need to reach.
Yeah. So I've noticed that there are a lot of positions which in the current legislature, the representatives and the senators, a lot of them run unopposed. So there seems to be kind of a dearth of Republican candidates. And because obviously we have a majority in both, I think they call it the general court and the House. And it's been a Democrat majority, I think, since like 1992.
Yeah.
So why do you think, just in your observations and your experience, why do you think that there is so much hesitation, apparent hesitation on people to run on the Republican ticket?
Right. It's difficult to run for any office. It's costly, it's time consuming, and a lot of people do throw their hat in based on their passion about the issues, but then they find that they get just attacked, their families or personal, it has become more like blood sport in a way, and you have to have the fortitude and real stamina to be able to withstand that. So it's unfortunate that a lot of candidates will run, and then if they don't succeed the first time, they end up not running again, and we're trying to change that because, you know, I always say you're in it to win it, but really, if you hadn't run for office before, the first time around, it's for name recognition, and it might take 2 or even 3 times to win in this state, because it is so predominantly Democrat, obviously, in the legislature.
Well, the candidates that are in office, and they're not the candidates, but the legislatures that are in office do have staying power. And that makes me feel as though it's worth it for them to enter the race. And like you said, though, sometimes it takes more than one time to run, but I think once they are in office, they are certainly valued, because many of them have long track records or strong track records for re-election.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, the incumbents definitely have the upper hand. They usually, voters tend to vote, you know, for the incumbent for whatever reason. It could be just recognizing the name.
Right, yeah.
Maybe it is for what they've done, you know, that they've done well, or any number of reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's okay today, so I
Yeah.
won't change it.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that could
type of
happen.
thing. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I hear you.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's important to get people to throw their hat in the ring and join. And
Absolutely.
you know, if we don't do something, we're all in trouble. One party does not work in any state.
And
Right.
Especially
and
this state.
Right.
I've always said I always felt like if I'm going to complain about the system or whatever, if I disagree with it policy-wise, then I have to be involved in trying to change it. So, you know, more people, if we could get more people that will, you know, join the town committee
Right.
or run for office, and, you know, will provide the support. But that's the only way you can turn the tide. And we really need to have more balance up in Beacon Hill, for sure.
Yes, yeah. Our government, right, as Janine was just saying, it was not meant for one party rule.
Right.
And we're seeing and we're feeling that.
That's
And
right.
we need to rebalance.
Yes,
So, good.
that's right.
Okay.
So Janet, who would you say is your favorite president?
Oh, my gosh. Well, any president who's Republican would be a favorite president of mine. But, you know, of course, you look back in history, President Abraham Lincoln, of course, Ronald Reagan, he's, I'd say, one of my favorites. Yeah, the two of them.
Yeah, I would say mine is Donald Trump.
I was going to leave that for you.
No
Of course.
question.
And Mary Beth, who's your
Well,
favorite?
I'm going to name my favorite Republican. My favorite Republican was my father.
Oh, nice.
And just like reminded me today about that, because we were talking about today's Republican, and my father started out, like so many people who fought in the World War II, as a Democrat. And, you know, the white picket fence and the life of the working man was what he wanted. And he when he passed, he was what I call a Rush Limbaugh Republican. He had seen the direction of the party, and unlike some people who hesitate to make the change, he knew what the values of America were, and he knew that he needed to become a Republican to acquire those values, to obtain those values and maintain them, and he did it.
Right, and many say that if he were alive today, President John F. Kennedy would align more with the Republican Party than the Democrat Party.
That's probably true.
Very true.
And speaking of which, rest in peace.
Yes.
Was today the day?
Yes. Or was it yesterday?
Was
the
it yesterday?
22nd, I
It's
think.
around
Yeah, it was
around the
yesterday, yeah.
time.
Yeah,
Okay.
my family grew up Kennedy Democrats also, and everybody changed in the last few years.
And that's the
Things
point we're
weren't going
kind of
in our
making
direction
today.
for the country.
Yeah, that's the point we're kind of making today. You know, if you're an American, vote like one.
Right. Well, it's interesting because in Massachusetts, you know, we are considered a deep blue state.
Yes.
And but when it comes to a presidential election, even though the makeup of our voter base is about 62% are unenrolled, and about 8.5% are Republican, and then about 30% are Democrat. However, in a presidential election, generally it's about 35 to 40% that vote for the Republican presidential candidate or a governor candidate in the statewide elections. So I think there are a number of unenrolled who do vote more conservatively, but they
Yes.
they don't want to necessarily be a card-carrying Republican in this
Right.
state, but it is interesting. We have this past election cycle with the municipal elections that we just had. We did pick up a number of seats on
that's so
local races,
encouraging.
which is
It
great
is.
because the local races are the breeding, build the bench breeding ground for future candidates for state rep, state senator, or other offices.
Yes, so that's very good to hear.
Yep.
Yes,
That's
thank
great.
you.
So in closing, if you consider yourself like-minded, please feel free to look us up on Facebook. Our page is the Marshfield Republican Town Committee, and hopefully you'll join our committee, and we'll work on getting things done for Massachusetts.
Yes,
Great.
wonderful. Thank you, Janet. And again, thank you, Janet. I know you wear many, many hats, so don't be surprised if we come a-calling again to talk with you about some of the other very interesting and fascinating things that you're doing with the Republican Party. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'd love to
Yes.
come back. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Janet.
Janet.
And thank you all for joining us.